Welcome to the weekend, good people of the world. I hope this message finds you truly well and joyful and that you are planning to get out there and get after it. This is your bFIT bonus, and it's Q&A time, so let's go. Well, if that intro doesn't take you back to the roots of radio, I have no idea what might. What is good in your hood, bFIT family? This is bFIT bonus. The extra daylight after bFIT Radio's workday is over. Some hopefully useful stuff you can carry into the weekend. I am Scott Schroeder, certified personal trainer, certified nutrition coach, performance enhancement specialist, and corrective exercise specialist. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, if you want to get your questions on the show, as usual, send it in, scott@balancefitsc.com, or message me on the socials if you must. Make sure you are subscribed to the podcast and my YouTube channel so you can get this stuff downloaded into your cranial inbox without fail. We all know what the subscriptions and the likes and the reviews do for the success of any podcast. So I am very grateful for you, for your time and for your efforting the subscriptions and the ratings and reviews and whatnot. If you want to follow me on the socials, whatever, fine. I mean, I welcome you. That's great. But you all know how I feel about social media, and I'd rather you stay out of your phones as much as possible. All right. Usual segment, fitness headlines for the weekend. Some stuff for you to carry into the weekend to think about. From CBS News, Weekend Warrior. A study suggests that compressing your weekly exercise into the weekend, a.k.a. Weekend Warrior, I hate that. That's so demeaning. Provides similar health benefits to spreading it throughout the week. All right, first of all, let's get rid of the stupid Weekend Warrior thing. If you are in a position where the bulk, if not all, of your fitness needs to take place over the weekend, that doesn't make you a weekend warrior. The connotation there is that you don't do anything by choice throughout the week, and then you go act like an athlete on the weekends. You go do, whatever it is. You go do some kind of readiness prepping course, or, you go do some crazy athletic event that you've never trained for, and that you don't do anything with. So I'd like to get rid of that. That's about as offensive. I don't know why this just popped into my head as a correlation, but yacht rock. It's the same thing. There are so many phenomenal, amazing musicians that created music in the 60s, 70s, and 80s that got funneled into the stupid cultural meme of yacht rock, and it's offensive to those musicians. So same kind of thing. Weekend Warrior, yes, there are weekend warriors, but I don't like the negative connotation that comes along with that for people who are doing their best. So anyway, pressing your weekly exercise into the weekend provides similar health benefits to spreading it throughout the week. Okay. Maybe. Similar? Okay, sure. Let's not be pedantic here. But there's nuance, there's pros and cons, and just like everything else in the universe, there's nuance. If you are in a position where you cannot get meaningful exercise, you can't get to the gym, you can't go for a run, you can't go for a walk throughout the week because of whatever your circumstances are, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like everybody's life during the weekday affords them the ability to do a lot of exercise. I'm not going to make that judgment as much as I might want to, because quite a few people do have time and resources and simply elect not to. But if you are in a position that you can't, or it is not feasible for you to get meaningful exercise during the week, and you do engage in resistance training or hiking or running or kayaking or kite flying or whatever the heck it is on the weekend, I'm just glad that you're out there getting away from the screens, engaging your body in movement. I'm happy about that. So is that going to be more beneficial than just doing nothing at all? Of course it is. It's probably going to benefit you more if you have a sustained plan throughout the week. But we're not going to pick nits here based on the premise of this story. So let's put it this way. We are so galactically unwell as a matter of course that any exercise at all is positive. So I'm all for that. But what I would say is be aware of your capabilities and limitations. Injury risk is high. If you do not engage your body in strenuous movement of any kind throughout the week, and then you go into the weekend and you kind of lean into that weekend warrior thing where you're lifting heavier weights than you should, or you're running faster and farther than you should, if you should be even running at all, not properly training or preparing yourself for that, then you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to get injured, whether it's any kind of serious injury that's going to take you out for a few weeks, or whether it's just a nagging ache and pain that's just going to make you say, you know what, this isn't worth it. I'm not going to do it. So prepare yourself, activate the muscles before you use them in any kind of a forceful or dynamic fashion. Make sure that you're warm. Make sure that you incorporate stretching. Get the muscles prepared. A variety of isometric and dynamic stretches is recommended before you do anything. Isometric stretching alone tends to, they say, put the muscles to sleep. But we do want to engage in the contraction and elongation of the muscles in that fashion. So do some isometric stretching to get your body moving. Get what you shouldn't forget is joint centration and lubrication. So do some neck rolls, do some shoulder rolls, do some hip swiveling, some external hip rotations, rotate your knees around, get your ankles going, get the joints centered and lubricated with the hyaluronic acid, the joint juice that needs to come in there, and then get some dynamic stretching involved where you're pumping the legs, pumping the arms, doing things like that to get yourself ready for any kind of vigorous exercise. So whatever you do, get out and move. You know what I say. All right, next, Functional Fitness 2026. Blue Coat Sports reports that training for daily life movement remains a top trend for 2026. All right, first of all, this is where I stare into the camera blankly and go, yeah, no kidding. So let's back up and pick at the words a little bit here. Functional fitness gets picked on by powerlifters and bodybuilders and fitness influencers because every exercise all fitness is functional. Yeah. You know, sometimes we just have to assign words to things. So let's not get caught up in that. I don't say it as much myself anymore. I use the word capability. Same thing. Function, capable, pick your word, whatever. But what I really want to say is remains a top trend for 2026. Can we make this a life function instead of a trend? I hate trends. Trends are stupid. Trends come and go. But what I'd like to do is make capability training, functional fitness, if you want to call it that, a function on the order of eating, breathing, and hydrating, things that you need to do to function. Let's make it more like that than it is a trend. So let's not get into this this bodybuilding thing or powerlifting thing where you go to the gym and all of a sudden you see every female in the galaxy is doing glute exercises and that's all they're doing. That's a trend. Let's make sure that we're well balanced, that we are getting stronger and more capable from top to bottom, and not so much a trend, so that when functional fitness or capability-based training has run its course on social media and in the influencer culture that all of a sudden you just move on to something else. There's probably not a better category of fitness in which you can engage and spend your resources and time than total body capability-based training, where you're getting stronger, you're getting more flexible, you're becoming more stable, you're able to move yourself, locomotion, whether it's running or walking. You're able to do twisting moves without getting hurt. You're working in all planes of motion, frontal, sagittal, transverse, all the things. You're engaging in all the fundamental human movement patterns: pushing, pulling, squatting, hinging, lunging, twisting, locomotion, all those things. That's really what functional fitness is. It's you're getting stronger in all of those categories so that your body is less prone to breaking down. You're able to perform the functions of your life. You're able to live up to your responsibilities, perform your life's functions, and engage in the activities that bring you authentic joy. That's really all that is. And I think it's great. As I said, I'd like to make it less of a trend, because honestly, how many of you are aspiring to be bodybuilders or power lifters? That's a fraction of a percent of people that really get anything out of that if you're going to go into as a profession. Otherwise, it's not really serving you to lean so hard in one direction. The vast majority of people in Western culture, it's a sitting, sedentary lifestyle that's screen time, bad nutrition, and we simply need to be training more people for more capability and general wellness. So great. I'm glad everybody's doing that. Let's not make it a trend. And finally, this story, beyond BMI. Health experts are moving away from relying solely on body mass index, exploring new ways to measure obesity. Thank God. This is also from CBS News. BMI, this is long overdue. I'm glad the medical community is realizing that this is laziness. It's a lazy metric. BMI is quasi-useful if it's used in conjunction with other metrics, but by itself, it's really not reliable. Your BMI is weight to height with your age and gender. And that doesn't really tell, it's not that it doesn't tell the whole picture. It doesn't tell much of a picture at all. My BMI, based on my weight, height, and my gender and my age, sometimes they factor that in, is 23.3, which is normal, but it's high normal. And so that means I walk into a doctor's office and they see my BMI is pushing up into the overweight category. I weigh 158 pounds, 5'9". If you engage in resistance training, you are necessarily going to build muscle. You're going to add muscle mass, and hopefully your nutrition is supplementing that. You're eating more healthy so that your body is able to utilize the nutrients to its maximum potential to build more muscle mass. Your bones are stronger, all those things. So you're going to be carrying more mass per square inch. You are not obese. And actually, this may sound flippant, but a more reliable way of telling of determining if somebody is obese is just looking at them. You can look at somebody's proportions and determine whether or not they are obese more than you can by doing this little equation with height, weight, age, and gender. If somebody's carrying a bunch of visceral fat in their midsection, that's a sign of obesity. So in other words, if their hips, if their waist is wider than their shoulders, or the same width as their shoulders, or if their waist is wider than their hips, you have a problem. And you can see that by looking at it. But anyway, the other ways that it seems like that are coming more into use, not only in the medical community, but the military is doing this as well. As I just mentioned, waist to hip ratio, waist to height ratio, waist circumference, using the waist to determine in relation to other body parts as to whether or not you're carrying too much visceral fat. And RFM, which is relative fat mass, that's a height, waist, gender, and has efficacy for those 20 plus. And also DEXA scans. I bring this up too because I train a client who's about to turn 15. So something like RFM is not going to have validation for him because he's under 20. And you typically carry more body fat when you're at that age anyway. And he actually recently had a DEXA scan that indicated a higher percentage of body fat than would be considered healthy for someone older. So DEXA scan is another thing. That's dual energy X-ray, absorptiometry, bunch of stuff you don't need to know. And BIA, which is a bioelectrical impedance analysis, and those cost money. They're expensive, these things. So they're actually not that expensive, relatively speaking. So if you want a really good idea of what's going on in your body, sure, go ahead and invest in a DEXA or a BIA or one of these RFM models. But other than that, for the vast majority of us, waist to hip ratio, waist to height ratio, and waist circumference, those, your waist, that's below your rib cage, above your hips. That's gonna paint a pretty good picture. All right, on to the Q&A. We're gonna start out with Matt in Dublin, Ohio. And by the way, Dublin, Ohio is such a lovely little town. I did some work a while back I worked in the golf business, and I was up there for the memorial, and I drove through Dublin, Ohio for the first time, and I looked around and went, good Lord, this place, it's like a fairy tale. This whole place is made of like Christmas trees and flagstone. Anyway, quite lovely up there. Matt's 37. He's married. He's a dad. His kids are 8 and 10. And he says, I want to be healthy and strong for my wife and kids. Good for you. Admirable. But how do I balance fitness with work and family without being selfish? Now, great question. I picked this one because I think this is an underlying sentiment that people tend, in this culture, people will tend to see spending time at the gym or spending time working out or taking care of your body, physically working your body, as being selfish because you're not around your family. And this is ridiculous because the first part of your question, Matt, supersedes the second part. The first part being that you want to be healthy and strong for your wife and kids. That's it. You can stop right there. That, by definition, is not selfish. That, by definition, is actually sacrificial. Because it sounds to me, there's not a lot of detail, but it sounds to me like you're currently less healthy and strong than you should be and want to be, and it's probably due to poor food choices and lack of exercise, whether that's laziness or time management or whatever it is. It doesn't matter, because it is easy to sit around and eat junk food and sit on your ass. So you will necessarily have to sacrifice those and replace them with something that is difficult. Lifting weights, walking, running, whatever the thing is that you're going to be doing to get healthy and strong. Not eating junk food, replacing junk food with, or let's just say convenience foods, because junk food, that sounds like candy bars and fast food. But convenience foods, a lot of our pantries are stocked with things that we categorize as convenience foods, which are easy to make, quick to make, microwave stuff, or these meal plan companies that have become all the rage in the last few years. Look, I mean, they tell you that stuff is healthy, but man, look at the ingredients. That stuff is loaded with salt and unhealthy fats. They gotta put the flavor somewhere. And plus, most of them come in black plastic, and that's pretty controversial these days as to whether or not you think, first of all, is black plastic or is black plastic not made from melted, recycled electrical parts? And the whole microplastics issue, and just microplastics for the human body or plastics for the landfills. So everybody's pantries are loaded with those things because we're, whether we're trying to make an effort or not to eat better, we're eating convenience foods because it's yummy and hyper consumable, and mashed potatoes and gravy are delicious, or we're getting these meal plans which aren't as healthy as they claim to be because of the time, the prep, the shopping, all that kind of stuff. So you are actually sacrificing. You are not being the fact that you want to be healthy and strong for your family is not selfish in and of itself. It precludes that notion. So while you're making sacrifices for yourself with the things that you do for your family, what you want to make sure is that you don't sacrifice family time for this. You sacrifice some of your personal time to work out. So whatever it is, whether it's goof off time, playing video games, or sitting on the couch, doom scrolling social media, or just poor time management, not utilizing your time well, things with time wasters, things that suck time from our days, get rid of those. Sacrifice some of your poor time use and not make sure you're not cutting into actual useful family time, and make up for that by creating meaningful family time. We've got this thing now where I'm old. We used to sit around and watch TV together. We didn't have any choice. You had one TV in the house. Nobody had headphones or earbuds. Those things didn't exist yet. And we all sat around and watched TV together. There's nothing inherently wrong with watching TV, watching a movie, or watching a TV show. Do it together. It'll spark conversation. And yes, do it together. Make sure nobody's staring at their phone the whole time while you're watching this. Phones away, tablets away, earbuds and earphones away. Sit down and watch TV together. Watch a movie together. Watch friggin' Wheel of Fortune together. You'd be shocked at, once the kids stop complaining about it and everybody gets into it, what a meaningful time that can be. And the same thing with family dinners. And I know we've been talking about this as a culture for a while, but how family dinners disappeared. Get the electronics away from the dinner table and actually gather people around the dinner table. I don't care what everybody's doing. You need to make time to do this. So whatever activities are going on with everybody in the family, those things need to be consolidated a little bit. And you need to make time for family dinners. We talk about body, mind, and spirit. This is for total health. So anyway, those are the things that you do by making sure, to balance out the time that you are spending getting healthy and stronger. And last thing, Matt, this thing that we've done in this cultural mutation that's happened over the last 20 years or so, where we sort of refuse to cut the umbilical cord, is absurd. And I'm going to say this, I'm going to look right in the camera, and I'm going to say this without any equivocation. Your wife and kids don't want you around that much, okay? Meaningful time is meaningful time, and it should be spent together. But you do not need to be ever present, hovering around. Give people their space. If you ask them, it's the whole thing like with Mother's Day and Father's Day. What do you want for Mother's Day? Leave me alone. I guarantee you that's what most people say. You should not be that emotionally attached to your children that you cannot be away from them for an extra hour. So that might make everybody's relationships a little bit better too if you are spending way too much time around each other. Let people be. Give people space to breathe. Be present when it matters, but don't be ubiquitous. That's the thing. You need to remember that your fitness matters to everyone in your life, and that your wellness and capability is an investment in the well-being of your family. So that makes it not selfish. I hope that helps. All right, moving on. What do we have? Ashley in Alpharetta, Georgia. Ashley's 32. She's married, doesn't say anything about kids. She's a working professional, has a job, I guess, has a career. Oh, I love this. I mean, I hate it, but I love that you ask. Social media makes me feel like I'm always doing fitness wrong. Yes, they do. How do I know what actually matters? All right, first of all, this is going to be a recurring theme. Put down your phone and get off of social media. It's toxic, it's poison, it's horrible. There's almost nothing good there. Second thing I want to say is if you feel like social media makes you feel like you're doing fitness wrong, then you might be performing your fitness instead of living it. You might be doing things in a performative fashion. So here's the phone. What's this cute guy or hot girl? What are they doing for this workout, and how's it going to help my butt and all that kind of stuff? You need to make sure that your fitness is performing for your life, that it's working for you, that you're not performing your fitness. And this fitness influencer culture, it's out of control. Most fitness influencers are really just clownish avatars trying to be famous rather than authentically trying to help people. It's just true. There are some good people out there on the interwebs and on the socials doing good things to help people, but there's not a lot of them. And they are quite often drowned out by the clowns. The thing that drives me nuts, and I did a whole episode on this about this, is we have conflict culture, and this stupidity started like 15 or 20 years ago, and it's all over the culture. It's Food Network. Food Network all of a sudden went from being a cooking network to wars, competitions. Everything was a war. Baking wars, cooking wars, food truck wars. What? I mean, good Lord, man. Do we not have enough conflict in this world that we don't have to turn on cooking shows and have people doing fake banter where they're trying to take each other out? It's ridiculous. Anyway, anytime you turn on, you scroll and find one of these influencers, what you're most likely to find these days is, stop doing this. You're doing this wrong. This move is stupid. For the love of God, please stop doing this. Instead of saying, hey, I got something helpful. Now, what does that say about our culture? I saw this. I don't even, no names, no whatever, because I'm not putting this person down, but it's just the idea of this. There was this, I don't even know if this influencer is famous or not. I just came across it, saw it on YouTube, and I was like, good Lord, man, you got to be kidding me. It was a move, I think it was using a BOSU inverted so that the dome side is down, so it's wobbly, it's unstable, holding dumbbells and doing squats on that. And that move got trashed. Well, this person was, by everything I could tell just by watching the video, was a bodybuilder. That move, and this person said, this move is effing stupid. What's it going to do for my butt, for my glutes? And yeah, a squat should be working your glutes. And you should, maybe if you're a bodybuilder, be using a lot of weight, or, you know, if you're going for max hypertrophy, or if you're a power lifter going for moving max weight, that move might not be very useful to you, but it's not a stupid move because it requires stability. It forces you to use synergistic muscles and balance. So, no, it's not stupid and it's not useless. It might be useless for you, but it's probably not useless for the vast majority of people in the world. So anyway, That is that kind of thing that just blows my mind. So that's the reason, Ashley, that social media makes you feel like you're always doing fitness wrong, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people that are out there getting past just saying, hey, stop doing this and do this, instead of saying, hey, I got some ideas that might help you. By the way, I'm not a bodybuilder or a power lifter. I like to train for capability, for all around functional fitness. God forbid we say that. So maybe this could help you. If you want to find, if it's convenient for you to find different exercises and workout plans online, then try to find somebody that approaches it more from a helpful standpoint than conflict and friction. But what I want you to do is write down your goals. Remember your SMART goals. Make sure they're specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Write down your goals. Write them down. Don't put it on you can put it on a notes app later, but write this down. You'll remember it. It'll lock in. Short, medium, and long-term goals. This is how you build a fitness plan for you. What do you want to be? What do you want to feel like? What do you want to be capable of? What do you want to do? What's your longevity prospects? Do you want to start running Spartan and OCR races? Do you want to run a marathon? Do you just want to feel better? Whatever the goals are, write them down and give yourself short-term goals that you can achieve, that you can point to and you can work to, that are right there and you can get behind you and set more of them. Medium and long-range goals tend to be more longevity and health related. But write these down. Figure out what you need to do to reach those goals and get after it. That's how you're going to be more efficient and less performative. You're gonna work for your goals and not for trying to figure out what you need to do to grow your glutes. Okay? I mean, Ashley, do you really need to grow your glutes? You need strong glutes because those help you walk, help your posture. They help you do lots of things and they're the biggest muscle in your body. You need strong glutes. Do you need to grow your glutes? So figure this out. Figure out what you can do to make your fitness work for you, and forget about all these yahoos out here. All right. Maddie in Raleigh, North Carolina. She's 28. She's active. Doesn't say anything about being married or having kids, so whatever. I don't want to, and you know what? This question is going to kind of tag alongside the other two. I don't want to chase aesthetics, but I still want to look good. Is that shallow? Maddie, it's not shallow at all, and don't let any of these body-shaming psychopaths into your headspace. It's human nature to want to look good. Now, that is relative. That doesn't mean you are some anorexic actress or, some bodybuilding stuntman or whatever it looks like that. You need to figure out what beauty is to you, what looking good means to you, because looking good, being fit, being healthy conveys to other people that you are capable and that you are strong and that you care about yourself and you have a high sense of self-worth and self-value. Now, the other side is going to flip around and say that because you do that, you are necessarily saying that someone who is overweight and out of shape and unhealthy and chronically ill is a bad person. Nope, that ain't what we're saying. Okay? We simply want more people to be healthier and more capable. And being obese, out of shape, unfit, and unwell is not helping anybody. So as I said, it's human nature to want to look good. It's important. And you know what? It's important to put beauty into the world. We spent millennia creating beauty through art and music and with our bodies, with our hair, with the things that we do to present ourselves to the world as a healthy, functioning person. We chase beauty in all forms, and we should chase beauty in all forms. And we've spent a little bit of time recently trying to tear beauty down, and it shows. Trying to deny the encoded desire to be healthy is insanity, and tying that to attractiveness and beauty and this whole body shaming nonsense is absolutely insane. There is a direct correlation between physical appearance and health. Being stronger, having more muscle mass, having good posture, not being put down through chronic disease, carrying a lot of extra weight, being overweight or obese, whatever word you want to assign to it, carrying a lot of visceral fat around your midsection. This is choking your organs out. This is making you less healthy. It's hurting your heart. It's hurting your other organs, other vital organs. It's hurting everything about you. So the correlation between the physical appearance, and once again, that means a body in proportion. The correlation between that and health is very real. Being aesthetically strong and symmetrical is actually an indicator of health and longevity. We can try to pretend all day long that that's not true, but that is only to the detriment of humanity at large. That kind of thing communicates to the world. Being aesthetically strong and symmetrical, being healthy, that kind of stuff communicates to the world that you actually give a crap about yourself, and people respond positively to that. So you want to surround yourself with people who elevate you. So you want people who respond positively to the fact that you care for yourself and that it matters to you how you present yourself. It boosts your psychological and spiritual well-being as well. Being healthy, feeling good about yourself makes you feel good about yourself. Being healthy, being well, being fit does that for you. So no, it is not shallow. And I want you to make sure that you hold on to that. All right. That is it for this bFIT bonus. Take this into the weekend and put it into motion. Now get out and go move yourself. Read, write, think, connect, and do. I want you to be mindful, be fit, be capable and resolute, and I'll leave you with this thought. Make fewer things about yourself as you grow through life. Little children necessarily need to be looked after. Adolescents draw attention through absurdity and nonsense as they attempt to figure out who they are and how to be. Well-adjusted adults have no need or desire to draw attention to themselves. Now put down your phone, get away from screens, and spend some time actually living your life. Take care of your body, mind, and spirit. Don't worry about the big picture. Just take care of now, right now. Peace out, homies, and I'll see y'all next time.